Okay, this morning we're going to do a little product review on these parts from Classic Performance Products, otherwise known as CPP. And the kit is LS1-KU-P, and I'm guessing the P stands for polyurethane mount. The instructions, pretty decent for instructions. I've seen a lot worse. But you get, this is one side here in the box. You get the main mount that goes to the engine, polyurethane mount, and then the adapter plate that joins those two together. All right, let me get the camera set down and we'll go through how all this goes together. Okay, and we'll get started with the actual install. You want to start with this plate, and then the countersunk side faces out to you. And they provide you with 4 carriage head bolts. Now you want to put these in, 1 in each slot, so you get 2 for each side. But it's important to note that when you're actually bolting it together, make sure that it's seated down in the plate. Because if you actually have it like this, then it's just going to distort the bolt, and then it's going to end up rounding off and spinning round and round when you're trying to tighten it. So actually just lay them in there like that. Grab your bolts and start them in the motor mounts. Okay. Then we'll take the ratchet, run them down. Okay, now, I didn't torque them with the ratchet because I have had these little 1/4 inch Allen sockets just shear off when they're that small. So I'll take an actual Allen wrench and put the torque on it. And you put about that tight. Because you're not going to be able to get to these bolts after you finish the install. So go ahead and torque these. Basically, put all the whammy on it you can without breaking the wrench and stripping out the Allen head. Because it would be very easy to strip the Allen head screw out. It'd be bad. So put all the whammy on it you can. And then you take this plate, and it also has a countersunk side. Pay attention to that. And it has a spacer, and then the actual motor mount itself. Now, everybody will recognize this. This is the standard small block Chevrolet motor mount. It fit from 55 all the way up to, I guess, 98 when they stopped production on them in cars, went to the LS's in 99. But you take, these are now 3/8 Allen, and they take a 7/32 because we're not symmetric anymore. These are 3/8 bolts. So start those bolts in. Remember, countersunk side goes through the back. Put it on. And they are nylon lock nuts. Get the next one. Put the washer on. Now, we'll swap out our 6mm we had for the other ones. We'll swap it out. Yeah, it is 7/32. Had to look, make sure. 7/32. And the nut, 9/16 wrench, standard 3/8 bolts wrench. And you'll tighten these down, and you can go ahead and put the whammy on these because they're going to stay there. You're not going to be able to get to these again. A little extra on it. Okay. Now, you have your motor mount side assembled. All the bolts in the countersunk side, it's flush. Now the washer and the nylon nut. For this, make sure that when you push this up onto that plate, that you don't knock the bolts out of their slot. Remember earlier how I talked about turning the carriage head bolt sideways and getting it out of its slot? This is the point you want to make sure you don't do that. Okay, get that one started finger tight till the nylon grabs. Then we'll move to this one. You can actually put your finger behind this one and it helps out a little bit. The other one you can't get your hand behind. You just kind of got to wing it. Okay. It is a 3/4 wrench that fits these bolts. You could use a socket, but I'm not going to tighten them all the way right now. Because like I say, we're putting this in my wife's 39 Chevrolet. And I'm not sure exactly where these motor mounts are going to sit. So I'm going to leave them just a tad loose. Just so when I go to set the motor down in the car, I got a little bit of wiggle room. That was the whole reason I bought these motor mounts. I'm sure there's other kits that make adjustable motor mounts. But as you can see, they slide pretty good. I'll go get a tape measure and we'll actually measure how much they move. We'll get a measurement for you so you'll know if on your project if you want to use these. All right. Let me go get a tape. Okay, so we got the tape measure now, and it pretty much looks like there's 3 inches of travel that you have. You can select from, you know, this is more the traditional small block Chevrolet mounting, or you could slide the engine back in the chassis by mounting it here, but you would have to depend on whether you had the firewall clearance to be able to slide the engine that far back. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this product review. We'll get to another video for a follow-up when I actually set the motor in the chassis. I'll follow everybody up and let everybody know where I finally set the mounts and how they sit in the frame. But like I say, hope you enjoyed the review. We're going to follow up with more product reviews. And as always, thank you, Lord. Thank you for today.